Call me a prophet, call me a time traveler. Whatever it is that coincides with saying exactly what was gonna happen this chapter, make sure y'all call me that because God, I called it all. Only thing I didn't take into account was Tofku using his ability to conceal us while we not only persuade them over to our side, but also go over the plan for recovering Shinichi and Enten. Such a wonderfully crafted plan by Chihiro. And again, to reiterate what I said last chapter, I have to give Chihiro credit. It boggles my mind how the guy who I thought at the beginning was just gonna be all actions, no words, turned into, well, I guess I should have saw this coming with how much Hokuzono talks about his love for movies and particularly Batman, right? The ending to this chapter gave me flashbacks of all the cinematic team-ups we've seen in old school martial arts films, and to be honest, I'm glad it went this route because it's the next best thing for the manga. Anyways, I'm DomoSenpai, and y'all already know how we do things over here. Some call me the Kagurabachi enthusiast, some call me the Gachiakata enthusiast, but most of y'all know me as just a creator who loves to spread his love for manga and anime all over the internet. If you're new to this channel, man, do yourself a favor by hitting the subscribe button. We are trying to hit 10K by summertime and 100K by the end of the year. Becoming a self-sustaining content creator is mad hard, let me tell you. It's almost like I'm playing this thing by ear. I'm testing my limits by attempting to do something not many people are able to accomplish. Thank you guys for all the positive comments and whatnot though. Those things literally push me to create more content by the day. I'm working on getting out of this rut, which I'll tell you guys about at the end of the video. Anyway, enough of this mushy shit. Let's get into the video because while there isn't a lot to talk about, I kind of just want to give some perspective on what's really going down in this chapter. The one thing I bring up in almost every chapter is how cool Hokuzono Sensei being a film buff is. You can literally see it by how well he crafts the beginning of these chapters. A lot of the times you read manga and are able to imagine how things are, but the one thing he does is make you feel as if you are there. And one of the ways he does it is by giving us perspectives we wouldn't even have considered being here. For instance, right, the introduction of the Shinichi bidding team was a welcome moment because it gave us insight on not only the feeling of the room, but also just how powerful the Shinichi is. We've been told in bits and pieces about the strengths of the Shinichi, and what was said in this chapter was surprising. The guy says that by buying the Shinichi at this auction, we could save millions of lives, which gave me a bit of a scare because it sent me into a realm of thought that I think I've only visited once before about what the Kamunabi's values are. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I've stated this before, that the Kamunabi are willing to sacrifice the few to save the majority. But to be honest, to me, it's more so about covering their bases than it is about saving humanity. The lady on the bidding team was like, yo, they're out here selling people and whatnot, but the thing we care about is buying this sword back. But then that's when we were reminded about how scary the Shinichi is. And that is how we loop back around to the idea of the blade being scarier than the wielder. But if that is the case, then why is the wielder the one locked up, but the blade was nabbed and put up for auction? We will let that one cook, and in the comments, y'all go ahead and get to cooking and let me know what y'all think about that. The framing of the fight scenes in this manga are so good, bro. Hokuzono Sensei doesn't shy away from the grittiness of a good sword fight, and that always shows in spades in every chapter, which led us to our much needed reunion with Hiyuki. Tofku being here is like the ace in the hole, because to be honest, giving us a space to talk with no interruptions definitely was key, and Chihiro persuaded Hiyuki out of trying to blow us to smithereens. Jesus Christ, these panels are godlike. I gotta talk about this all the time because these panels, like when I color them, I envision some of the coolest things happening. But anyways, I digress. One of the coolest parts of this chapter was Chihiro mind gaming Hiyuki though. And as a fighting game fan, I love a good mind game. Chihiro was able to piece together the type of person Hiyuki was just based off of their last encounter. And in my opinion, that was quite the gamble. He pulled out the big guns telling Hiyuki like, look shorty, they sell humans here. The little homie sister is being sold and he wants her back. So if you want the Shinichi, you're pretty much gonna have to cooperate with me to make that happen. And I'm pretty sure Mr. Azami fed them some info about Hiyuki's antics because even though it's from Tofku's perspective, it was still at the Kamunabi HQ. And of course, whatever news Azami gets, it's getting relayed back to the gang. I like how this notion of Hiyuki having powers on par with an enchanted blade just gets thrown around, and I, for one, am not gonna get hit with the okie-doke. Look, man, we know Hiyuki is strong, but there's a reason she was introduced so early and not later on as like one of them final boss style characters, you know? Anyways, bro, I'm getting sidetracked. That's something I'll have to get to in a later video. Chihiro's words worked, bro. We got Hiyuki to bite, and wildly enough, she decided to roll with us. For now. The panel spread game for Hokuzono Sensei has always been spectacular, but he was on his A game for this shit. Hopefully showing this doesn't get my shit flagged, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Seeing Hiyuki side with us is so sick because A, I called it, and B, she's my favorite female character so far. Who doesn't love a badass woman in a suit? Shit is super fire. But I also want to highlight some important dialogue that took place here. I'm not sure if Tofku is pretty much on the same wavelength as Chihiro is, but I'm not taking this part at face value. The idea is to let Hiyuki kill Chihiro and bring the blades back to the Kamunabi. In the comments, what do y'all think this really means? To me, it's one of those pretend to be killed so that we don't get in trouble, as Tofku pointed out. But based on what Hiyuki said, I think she's just sick of everything, bro. To be honest, right? Like, she's just sick of everything. So how do y'all think this entire sequence is gonna play out? Is it just gonna be as easy as in and out of the storehouse without any confrontation? I think not. Actually, you know, I had to put my glasses on there. Actually, I think it's not gonna be that easy. We gotta shoot the Fae with Kyora one more time, bro, for sure. It has to happen. It has to happen because he's too smart to not know that Chihiro already has some shit up his sleeve, which is gonna force our hand because we know he's just gonna dangle Inten, Shinichi, Little Lightning Bros family, and then Hakurdi of all people in our face and make us choose. But Hiyuki's our wild card, and honestly, I like that bet. That's like the best wild card we could ask for. Outside of that, Mr. Shiba and the rest of the crew are in the car and pretty much waiting on good news or bad news. And to be fair, it's probably gonna be more bad than it is good. Make sure y'all let me know how y'all felt about this chapter down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. Been a bit behind as of late, man. My sleep schedule and all of that shit is super messed up still. Things ain't been the same since we lost our dog a few months back. Low key, still recovering from that. But we have a lot of business that we need to take care of, so I need to get back on my A game. And what business is that, you might ask? Getting to 100K by the end of the year. The idea is to get to 10K by summertime and 100K by the end of the year, so I really need to be jotting down like little benchmarks and whatnot to get that ball on the roll. I have a few ideas, but it's gonna take me actually sitting down and going over these to make them a reality. Share this video with those who love Kagurabachi or just manga in general. Let's make this thing happen, man. Anyway, I'm gonna get to editing this video, so appreciate y'all for coming through. And with that being said, man, it's your boy DomoSenpai, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video.